Dexter. Now that's a name I've not heard in a long time. A long time. Apparently, Dexter, the show from Showtime. Hey, remember Showtime? Remember when they were a thing? Remember when anybody cared and they were relevant? Nah, me neither. But hey, they used to have a show about a serial killer called Dexter. Actually, it was kind of a big deal. I used to really like it. But one of the very first videos over on Council of Geeks was me really going off on the series finale for that show. And I have continued to maintain that it may well be the single worst series finale in the history of television. Not just because it's bad in and of itself, but because it ruins nearly everything that came before it. It undoes, misunderstands, or undermines almost everything. I tried to go back and watch the seasons of Dexter that I like. I tried watching season 2, my favorite season of Dexter, and I couldn't because the back of my brain was going, it still ends in that ending, so none of it matters. So they're bringing the show back. Limited run, 10-episode miniseries thing. Unfortunately, Showtime's going to run into the fundamental problem that, at least speaking for myself, and I don't know if other fans feel the same as me, but speaking personally, I don't care anymore. I moved on from Dexter. I'm not going to say I got over it, but I processed my grief, and I've moved on. I don't really care if the show comes back, which is maybe an indicator that they waited too long to pull the trigger on this. Now, the generous interpretation was that they waited for the pitch of the correct way to continue it. But given the way that they allowed the damn thing to end in the first place, forgive me for being cynical and not particularly believing that. Instead, opting to go with the fact that I don't remember the last time a Showtime exclusive show made a single dent in the pop culture at all. And they're just reaching back for the last time it did. I mean, I say that. Maybe there's been a Showtime show that's meant something somewhere along the line and it just wasn't on my radar. I'm open to that possibility, but the fact that off the top of my head I can't think of anything, that's probably not a good sign. Now, here's the one bit of sort of, I guess, optimism is pushing it. Let's go with, maybe it won't be complete and utter dog bollocks. No, that doesn't work because the dog's bollocks is a good thing. Crap. I gotta stick to US slang. I do British slang, it goes bad on me. Anyways, the news that might give it a shot at not being terrible is the person who was in charge at the end of Dexter's run, one Scott Buck, pronounced with the same tone that I would pronounce tapeworm. He is not involved in this. His name did not crop up anywhere in terms of what is being done. And indeed, Michael C. Hall, who was the star of the show, the titular Dexter, does seem to be one of the creative minds behind it, which is also good because he didn't like the way the show ended either. Now, Scott Buck, I'm just going to linger on this for a minute. I haven't bothered, you know what, while I'm recording this, I'm going to see what the heck he's been up to. And while I'm looking this up, I will tell you what I know he's been up to. He ran the first season of Iron Fist for Marvel Netflix, and it was bad. It was very, very painful. And then, because he did such a good job making that terrible, they had him do that one season of The Inhumans. And that was also terrible. So Scott Buck at this point has a proven track record of garbage. He took a great show called Dexter and ran it into the ground. And then he took promising shows like, a promising show like Iron Fist and a maybe it'll be weird enough to be interesting show like Inhumans and botched them both. So, this man should not be allowed to work. And I'm trying to figure... So far as I can tell, he hasn't worked since the Inhumans wrapped up. He still gets credit on Iron Fist as a creator, but he wasn't involved in the second season of that. He's got no writing or producing credits on IMDb since the end of Inhumans. There is justice in the world. I mean, this is minor. There isn't really justice in the world. The world's screwed up. But in my tiny little bubble of spite for this one guy who screwed up a show that I really like, I feel vindicated right now. But anyways, tangented on this person. He's not involved. Good. Does it mean it's going to be good? No. No, it doesn't. But at the very least, it means it's not going to be that bizarre, what the hell were you even thinking? Who approved this? Somebody stop them level of bad that the last season of Dexter was. And especially if you try to be fair, Scott Buck did 4 seasons of Dexter, 2 of which I actually kind of like. I think season 5 is pretty good. It gets appreciated because season 4 is most people's favorite. And I actually like seasons. There's a lot I like about season 7. But season 6 was weak and season 8 was a travesty. So, out of the 6 seasons worth of television, the man was the primary creative force behind that I've seen. 2 were pretty good. That's a 40% return on investment. And the other ones are deep in the negatives. So, but I don't know. It's hard for me not to look at the return of something like Dexter as much as I used to like it. I really used to love this show. I really, really did. I can't look at it as anything other than a desperation move. That's just what it feels like. It feels like the combination of the network and the star scrambling for relevance again. Because all due respect to Michael C. Hall, he hasn't really been a star since Dexter ended. And that's no knock on his talent. That happens to, honestly, most leading actors of popular TV series. They never really escape the shadow of that show. It's a very common fate. It seems to have befallen him as well. So, I understand why he would want to go back to that well, and I definitely understand why Showtime would. But I can't dredge up more than a passing, oh, okay, about it. I don't have Showtime. I'm certainly not going to get it for this, and I don't torrent. So I'll probably never see this thing. If I ever have the opportunity, if it shows up on some other streaming service that I have, or if I have a friend who's gonna watch it, who's maybe once the pandemic's over, and because this isn't supposed to come out until 2021, so maybe if that's wrapped up and they're okay with me coming over to their house for a viewing thing, maybe that, because that's what I used to do with the original Dexter. I had a couple of friends. We would all gather up and we'd watch it together. That last episode was shared trauma. So bad. Dexter coming back, apparently. What do you think about that? Whatever your thoughts are, drop something down in the comments. Let's talk about it. Usual stuff to do. Like, share, subscribe. I have a Patreon. It is what pays the bills and enables me to get streaming services, even though I choose not to get Showtime. But if you want to support me, that's a great way to do it. Even if you don't, there's all the other stuff that I mentioned. But you also don't have to do any of it because we take a relaxed attitude around here. So just, come on back next time you need a break.